Yeah, welcome to another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth with your host, Zach Kearson, the Fifth General. What's going on, man?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Good to be here. Good to
Listen,
be here. Yeah.
50 years, right?
Yes.
50 years of hip hop.
50 years. 50 years of hip hop. Yeah, man.
Hey, you know what? I want to mention something. I didn't rock with the Grammys at all, but I did go back and watch the 50th tribute that they did on the Grammys. Did you see that?
Yeah. The 50 years. Yeah, I enjoyed the performance. Some of the performances I did. Yeah, some of the performances was pretty good. Of celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Man, I can't believe it's 50 years.
Let's talk
50
about it.
years.
50 years. 50 years, man.
50 years. Yeah, man.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Nothing but hip hop music, man. 50 years of hip hop music.
You know why? Because we heard joints like this. Let's go. The message.
Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back. Junkies in the alley with the
baseball bat.
I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far. Cause a man with a tow truck repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breeze blows.
Classic.
Crazy lady living in a bag, eating out of garbage pails, used to be a fag hag, such a that's the tango. Skipped the life and dango, a zircon princess seemed to lost her senses. Down at the peep show, watching all the creeps, so she could tell her stories to the girls back home. She went to the city and got so did it. She had to get a peep, she couldn't make it on her own. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
My brother's doing fast on my mother's TV. Says she watches too much, it's just not healthy. All my children time, Dallas
Classic joints.
can't even see the game or the Sugar Ray fight.
All right, I gotta stop before they flag it.
Yo, let me tell you, yeah, man.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Furious Five. When I first heard that record, oh my gosh. You're talking about the early 80s, 84, 83, 84.
You know what, man?
84.
Let me drop a bomb.
Yeah.
Let me drop a bomb. Salute. Go ahead, Zach.
Let me tell you something. Other records that I heard that really got me open to hip hop. The Inspector you was kind of young. The Inspector Gadget joint.
That's before me, but it's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that right, yo.
That could be before me. I'm born 87. What year was that?
That was 84.
Yeah, that's before me.
That was 84. Yo, and then Roxanne Shante and and
see, I had to play the message because when I think of the early days of hip hop, I have to play that record. Like that's something that my mind goes to. And I'm blessed that although a lot of that is before my time, is that as a young man, I grew up around real hip hop heads, including my brother, right? I'm a younger brother, so, and I grew up in a community where real hip hop was recognized in the beginning. So I remember all of that stuff. So I remember the stuff that I grew up with, but then I also remember the stuff that was before me that I can go back and listen to. And this was all as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Shoot, I remember when I don't have a lot of concerts in my history, but I remember seeing Curtis Blow perform. That was fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
I went to a Sugar Hill Gang concert. That was fun. I went with my pops. You know what I'm saying? At the South Street Seaport in Manhattan. Yeah. Kiss FM had did a no, was it Kiss? It was WBLS. Did a an outdoor concert, and I got to see Sugar Hill Gang, and shout out to Sugar Hill Gang because they performed the message. They was like, yo, we want to shout out to the pioneers, and they was like, yo, this is hip hop fans. This is for y'all, and they performed the message. Sugar Hill Gang.
Wow. Yeah. See,
they did Rappers Delight. Right before they did Rappers Delight, they performed Sugar Hill Gang.
Sugar Hill Gang, yes.
I mean, I'm sorry, they performed the message from Grandmaster Flash.
You mean the message? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was some real homage. And when I saw Curtis Blow, right before he did These Are the Breaks, he did the same thing. He performed the message. Yeah, so it just goes to show you how that song in particular is well represented. There's been remakes of the message, the beat that is. Yeah. Yes. Puff did his version. Ain't no one take my pride. Ain't nobody hold me down. No. I got to keep it moving.
And then you got Ice Cube. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
He did. He did. Ice Cube did his own joint. Now recently, Coyle Ray did her own thing to it. That's what today's people know. But
okay.
We know it as Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, the message. So
the message, yes. Yeah.
50 years of hip hop. Well, let's put it like this. 50 years accounted for. But technically, the art of rhyming is even older than that. You know?
Yes.
I saw an old gospel like doo-wop band, and this guy was rhyming.
See, yeah. Go if you go on YouTube, some YouTube videos.
I wish I could. Let me see if I can find it. You go ahead and
see
talk.
if you can find it. Yeah. So let me tell you something. I'm gonna let you know my experience with my first hip hop concert.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 1991. With my brother, went to Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Seen Leaders of the New School.
Nice.
Leaders of the New School.
Just another case of
that OPT. Organized Confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was at that concert? Tribe Called Quest.
Nice.
Tribe Called Quest. And I believe, if I remember, Will Smith showed up.
Wow.
And it was like an East Coast concert. Oh, and I can't forget the Black KRS-One.
Mm-hmm.
Madison Square Garden, 1991. I was in high school time. 1991. See, I'm telling my age. 1991. So I remember that's our first hip hop concert. Got deeply into hip hop because years ago in New York City, Kiss FM was called 98.7.
Mm-hmm.
The Poo Poo Man, Red Alert, played Saturday nights. Yeah. And I used to listen to Nice and Smooth, it's funky, oh, so hip hop junkies. All we gotta do is, and then I would hear just a product of the environment. I would hear joints.
Gangstar has got to be the short shot. Nice and Smooth has got to be the short shot. Peace the Red Alert and Kid Capri.
Ooh,
to Muhammad Ali. I said Cassius Clay. You say butter. I say parquet. Because I praise the Lord and keep the faith. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. The golden era of hip hop, man. I'm telling you. Yo, and then I would watch Yo MTV Raps, Five Five Freddy. The first time I ever seen NWA, first time, Yo MTV Raps, NWA, that was 1987. Let me see.
Oh, I
Earliest
feel
memories of
so
hip-hop.
bad. We didn't get a chance
Yeah.
to give our rest in peace to True Goy from De La Soul. I don't think we did.
Oh, you don't think so?
Oh,
But yeah,
I think
big
we
up
forgot.
to True Goy from De La Soul.
Yeah, rest in
Yeah,
peace,
yes.
yo.
Rest in peace. Yo, De La Soul, I remember buying a cassette tape years ago. See, I'm telling my age again. Years ago, 1989. The cassette tape De La Soul is dead.
Yeah.
Classic album. But of course, I was buying also Big Daddy Kane, The Taste of Chocolate, Big Daddy Kane, and
Mm-hmm.
and cassette tape, Special Ed cassette tape, and and Eric B. and Rakim cassette tape, and Heavy D and the Boys cassette tape, and I used to collect a whole lot of cassette tapes, man. Well, of course, I have my reggae collection too, Cedar and Clevie, but I
Yeah.
also have my hip hop collection where I used to buy the Source magazines and what's this Source mag? I used to buy the Source magazines and the other magazines that I used to buy too. Then the hip hop magazines. I used to take the posters that used to, and every time you buy these rap magazines, they would have posters in them.
Mm-hmm.
And Fresh. I remember Fresh magazine, and I would take the out of the Fresh magazine, and I would take the posters and I would put them on my wall as a kid. I would put the posters of Queen Latifah, Moni Love. I would put Eric B. and Rakim. I'll put KRS-One, just plastered on my wall. LL Cool J, MC Light, just plastered these hip hop artists. NWA. I had what do you call it? Digital Underground. When Pac was in Digital Underground and Shock G, I had that poster too. So I used to just plaster all. I just had to plaster all my whole wall with just hip hop artists on my wall back in the 80s, in late 80s, early 90s. And so many elements of hip hop kind of, I was intrigued by many elements. I was just open up to many elements of hip hop.
Yeah.
Back then, before even got into music, we were popping.
Right.
That was part of hip hop too, believe it or not. Popping and break dancing and popping.
Yeah, man. Graffiti.
Yeah.
All
Graffiti,
of that, man.
graffiti, all that. Yeah. All the elements of hip hop. And just enjoying that moment in that time. And I don't know but this was before your time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just when dudes used to just walk with just radios in the park, just playing the radios.
That was still during my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, he just early what in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play with radios, yeah.
The boom
And just-
boxes, man.
Boom box,
boxes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I call the golden era hip hop the boom bop era.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, we had in 1993 we had Nas. Whose world is this? The world is mine. Is mine. The world is yours? And we had
Mm-hmm.
and then before and not even and as time went on. Let me see. And before time went on, how I got opened up to Nas was True Third Base.
Yeah. Live at the barbecue.
Yeah, Live at the Barbecue. Oh, you're right. Yes.
It's like
it was
that,
Live at the
Joe.
Barbecue.
That Joe.
Like, yo, yeah. Yeah, they had Alcanelli. They had and as 1992, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. When we reminisce over you. I bought that. I had to buy that album. And I also had to buy Main Source too. I had to buy Main Source. I'm looking at the front door. Yo, friendly game, and then who can forget the Brand Nubians? Who can forget the Brand Nubians?
Oh yeah.
Who can forget the Brand Nubians?
Punks jump up to get beat down.
And Black Moon. And you got Black Moon and yeah. Black Moon.
Who got the props? Who got the
props? Yeah, and what's the Helter Skelter crew? Smith and Wesson. Smith and Wesson. You had yeah. And of course I can't leave out the West Coast. I can't leave out
man.
Doc DOC. The Doc DOC.
Yep.
Above the Law.
Yep.
Just old school. Above the Law. Too Short. Yeah. Can't even leave out MC Hammer.
Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. And we got to pray just to make it today. Can't leave that out. And Yo-Yo. Can't play with my Yo-Yo and MC and Rage and the list just goes on. And I just seen a documentary on MC Trouble. Yo, big up to the podcast show called Celebrity Underrated. I just seen that they just did a video on MC Trouble. I remember MC Trouble when she first came out. MC Trouble, Sweet Tea, a lot of the female MCs that just paved the way for the Entice. Listen, I'm going way back. Big up to them, big up to them. Ladies of hip hop. Royalty, ladies, MC Light, of course, Queen Latifah, of course. Big up to them, always.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, Salt and Pepper. I remember when I first heard that, I was a kid. When I heard Express Yourself, but also it was it called Pump, is it dun 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 dun, push it real good. I'm hearing that just hit the airwaves like crazy.
At the anniversary, they was performing. My mic sounds nice. Check.
Nice.
One. My mic sounds nice. Sounds check nice. Two. Yeah, my mic sounds nice.
And I cannot forget Kid and Play. Forget Kid and Play. Coming out of Queens. Love Bug Ski, Kid and Play. Their movies, Kid and Play movie. I remember when I first seen the first Kid and Play movie, House Party 1, House Party 2. Can't forget that. And rest in peace to the comedian called Harrison. I think it's Harrison. Rest in peace to him. But Kid and Play, the list goes on. And who can forget? I remember when I first heard. See, I'm just randomly saying a lot of MCs from back then. Big up to when I first heard Jay-Z record back in '87. Him and the Jazz, Jay-Z and the Jazz. I bought the cassette tape.
Jazz-O,
yes, and also I'm big up to Fat Joe, cause remember his very first record was Gotta Flow Joe. First record was You Gotta Flow Joe, and had a classic album, classic. Then they had the Big Pun, R.I.P. to Big Pun.
Yeah.
And man, just the list goes on. And who can forget about Big L, lyricist, Big L out of Harlem, New York, Big L. And
unfortunately,
and let's be mentioned. And then Cameron, and then the Dipset crew. So they came out early 2000s. But you know what I can't forget? I talk about all these hip hop icons. We cannot forget 1993 on Staten Island when I first heard Wu-Tang Clan.
Come on now.
Wu-Tang Clan.
First it was the New York crime side. Staying alive was no drive.
Second hand.
Bounce on and then we moved to Shaolin Land.
A young youth. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? the first time I seen Shaheem first back in Bay Street, Staten Island, New York. Shaheem, the Rugged Child, and then then came out King Just, and then
Hey man, not too many people remember King Just, man.
Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya,
ho.
hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
Can I get some? That's the sound of the Warriors drum. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
And
don't remember
Wu-Tang,
that.
Yeah. Wu-Tang just took it away. 1993.
Yeah,
Wu-Tang just took it by storm, man.
If you want to go and bring the ruckus, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just brought it by storm. So
Yeah.
as we celebrate 50 years of hip hop, I'm just brainstorming and giving homage to hip hop, You know, big up to also Ralph McDaniels.
Yeah.
Cannot forget growing up tuning into the box, video music box, Ralph McDaniels. Man. Can't forget him. Can't forget video music box, Ralph McDaniels.
Very important.
Very important. 5 Freddy, very important.
Stretching Bobbito.
Early 2000s. Yeah, exactly. The early Rap City, Big Tigger in the Basement. Can't forget early 2000s. Cannot forget the early 2000s. 106 in Park. Can't forget that show. And also, see, I'm gonna jump backwards now. Yeah. Soul Train. Soul Train is at first, Don Cornelius, he was more into soul, more into R&B. But as time went on, Don Cornelius was like, you know what? Hip hop was undeniable. Yeah. So I seen during my time of watching Soul Train, Redman hit the stage. You had Redman to hit the stage. You had Redman and Meth Man hit the stage. A lot of MCs, UMCs out of Staten Island. They can't forget the UMCs. Out of Blue Cheese came out of Staten Island. I remember the first time seeing them. I was excited for them when I first seen them on Soul Train, the UMCs. And man, it's just as time went on, hip hop was just undeniable. Yeah. Not getting a lot of play back then in the early 80s. But as time went on, they just, with Curtis Blow, and you had Furious 5, Sugar Hill Gang, and then you had MC Shan, The Battle with KRS-One, Roxanne, and just coming up with just classic albums. The Juice, big up to the Juice Crew, Big Daddy Kane, Craig Knight, Cool G Rap. Can't forget about Cool G Rap. Cool G Rap. The Symphony, yes. And Master Ace. Big up to Master Ace. Yeah, man. It just, hip hop just continues to evolve. Hip hop just continues. The legacy of hip hop, and hip hop goes on and just continues it just continues. And as time went on, hip hop just has some classic records that's just undeniable. Classic hits. Just today, driving in my car, listening to It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. Oh man, you know, and we had some good southern hip hop too. Can't forget Outkast. Cannot forget Outkast. The Goody Mob. And then I okay, they're undeniable. The 3-6 Mafia, undeniable.
We're gonna have to move it along. We've been talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, we just celebrating 50 years of hip hop. So then that's what I say. That's my take on hip hop. So 50 years just celebrating on nonstop. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now, what else you wanted to get into, man? Before we get to our main topic of, being in relationships as far as being hard to let go and starting over. What else you want to get into?
Well, during the course of the NAACP, the NAACP Awards show.
Okay. Which was it was on BET, right?
With yeah,
televised? Okay.
BT, yes. Benjamin Crumb mentioned a lot about keeping Black history alive
Okay.
because in Florida, Governor DeSantis wanted to get rid of Black history studies due to the LGBTQ getting involved. And to me personally, that I believe that was a excuse just to get rid of the Black history studies. Now, there's other ways of of going around it. You can keep Black history studies, and you can keep the Black. You don't have to just ban Black history studies altogether. And that's my take on that. So Benjamin Crumb mentioned of keeping Black history, of getting the Black Caucus together, getting other Black organizations together to keep Black history alive. He mentioned, and I love it how he just broke down the different Black historians, civil rights leaders, and activists, and athletes, and just broke down them. Like he mentioned, for example, Fannie Lou Hamer. He mentioned Harriet Tubman. He mentioned, he mentioned Dr. King too, and he mentioned Malcolm X too, and he mentioned Garrett Morgan. He mentioned quite a few, Benjamin Bennica. He mentioned Medgar Evers. He mentioned just keeping that legacy of Black history alive and keeping it going, But I actually made a video. And I actually put in my 2 cents. I said, listen, we came before slavery, so I just mentioned Queen Ninja and the Kush dynasty and Queen in Jenga and Nubia, the Nubian dynasty. I just mentioned that to put that we have to keep Black history alive and keep it going, and we shouldn't use a cop out as using just saying that the LGBTQ was involved in it. So I just want to keep it down. That was wrong for Governor DeSantis to say. So that's what I want to mention. That's before we get into our main topic. That's what I want to mention. So yeah, man.
Yeah. So you had more. What else happened?
Yeah.
What else happened on that award show?
Well, the Wayne, Wade, and Gabrielle Union called their son. I guess that's supposed to be a transgender son. I think he's called Zaya. He changed his name. He had a biblical name.
Zion,
and then he changed it to
originally.
Zion, right?
Zion originally. It was Zion.
Zion, and they changed to Zaya.
Yeah.
So, and they call he a she.
Publicly.
And this is okay. And what kind of caught my attention when Gabby Union mentioned that they need to still fight for rights. Now, my take on that is that should they need to fight for rights? To me, the LGBTQ got a lot of rights. Go ahead. They have a lot of rights. Yeah. They have a lot of rights because thing is
they passed a bill that made them a bill got passed.
Yeah.
That made them a protected class.
A protected class, right? Yeah. So I don't know what else. When she mentioned that, I was kind of confused. I'm like, but don't they have certain rights put in place already? Don't the community have certain rights that is already placed and put in place already? So what rights are you talking about more? They always have some people that's prejudiced against the LGBT community. I know that, but she's talking about fighting for more rights, fighting for rights. And to me, the community is protected. You cannot say anything about the LGBT community without you'll be getting a violation. You can't say anything against them. Anything. You get canceled. But if you say black this and black that, you ain't gonna get canceled. If you say yo this and yo, you nigga, you do the N word, you call them not be used the N word, you ain't gonna get canceled. But if you say anything against the LGBTQ community, you will get canceled. So my question to Gabrielle Union is like, so what else writes? That's my question. Lord have mercy.
Well,
Yes.
Well, I'll say this. I've been kind of like quiet for a while. I'll say this. I think she wants to be an activist.
Okay.
So I don't even know what the heck award they got. What was that?
I guess community awards, like a outstanding,
Even like a humanitarian kind of award.
A humanitarian award, yes.
And it was
I believe it's the rights for the LGBTQ community. I believe it's the right for that. But
so
if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Let me see if I can look this up because I didn't know that was such an award.
Yes.
To be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I saw like a clip of her talking.
Yes.
And let me see if this will tell me, because they got an award. What was it? Dedicate. What was this? Okay, it says that it was an award for activism on according to USMagazine.com. It's saying that, which is Us Weekly. It says that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union accepted the President's Award at the NAACP. I'm reading this weird. NAACP Image Awards for their activism on LGBTQ plus issues. So I didn't know that was such an award that the NAACP even hands out. I mean, potato, right? I don't really watch award shows anymore, man. It's been a long time since I watched them. I'm just not entertained by them anymore. So I don't even know what the heck even goes on half of the time. So if you wouldn't have told me about this, I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, well, it's like this. Award show used to be a thing where everybody ran home to watch back in the day. Like, have you heard about the BET Awards or the Grammy Awards? It was something to watch, then talk about it the next day. Now, it's lost its flavor,
Yeah.
Lost its flavor. It's lost its flavor. And it's lost its flavor. So it's, if you miss it, you miss it. If you catch it, you catch it. And that's what it is. And I had a friend call me up. I didn't know anything about the NAACP awards until he called me up and said, "Listen, the NAACP awards is coming on. You gotta watch it. The NAACP awards is coming on. You gotta watch it." I was okay. And he's like, "Yo, guess who's hosting? Queen Latifah." I said, "Queen Latifah? Okay, I'll watch. Yeah, Queen Latifah's hosting. I'll watch. I like Queen Latifah. I'll watch. So I said, okay. Queen Latifah is hosting the award show. I said, okay, cool. And I watched it. And then I just hear what everybody said. But to me, activist, attorney Benjamin Crumb had the best speech. And one thing I noticed about the NAACP awards, as soon as they noticed people talking too long, the music came on right away. The music would come on, the background music comes on right away. So nothing really get excited over anymore. It's if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our main topic. This is an old thing, but from like last year. But we kind of felt inspired to talk about this as we were trying to find the topic of today. So I'm gonna just let this play and then give context. Turn the volume up. Let's go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right, just give me a second, y'all. YouTube ads. Right when I want to play it, I want to pop up. Let's get at it. There we go. Come on.
Let me tell you something, Miss Thompson. You are being a doormat. I'm letting you know. I'm looking you in the face because you brought this case here.
But it's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years. You're not losing the whole 5 years. You're gaining the next 5 years. You are gaining the next.
But I want to have them with him. I want to have the 5 years with him. I don't want to start all over again. That's too much.
Right.
It's too much. And you know what? Right, what? You agree?
Yes, I want to be with you, but...
Then you know what? No, you know what? Around, you either marry me or you reimburse me. It's that simple. I have the ring already. All you got to do is get on your knees and propose.
Your Honor, she is not going to rob me of my manhood and demand that I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to get a ring. I'm going to propose to her when the time is right.
Take this one.
I have not even got to build a relationship with her family.
In case no one else has figured this out, y'all are not compatible. You are living in a fantasy world, baby. In a fantasy world.
Your Honor,
this is not your husband.
But Your Honor, I spent so much time invested in him.
Your
It's
boyfriend.
not fair. It's not fair.
It may not be fair, but it's true. Baby, he is not your husband.
Please.
And you are not going to sit here on this
Lord
room
Jesus.
with me and cry over somebody that does not deserve your tears. Absolutely not.
Are you saying you don't want me?
I do want to marry you. Your Honor, I have one more thing to say, and I did not want to bring this up. But I went through her phone.
Oh.
Don't they all?
Yeah.
And I saw her having a conversation with somebody, and I found out.
Wait a minute. He said I went through her phone, and she said, "Don't they all?" What does Star mean by that? Don't they all? Who's they? I'll play more.
Okay.
That's what the man said. I went through her phone. Judge Star Jones says, "Don't they all?"
They all.
I'm gonna play more.
She's been lying to me, and she has her tubes tied.
Oh.
You know that.
You know I wanted to have a baby with you. You know I want to marry you, but you've been lying to me. You've been leading me on this entire time.
I was going to tell you, Orval. Yes, they are. I was going to tell you, but they can be reversed. It's $10,000. I already have the doctor on speed dial. What's up? I have the doctor on speed dial. He can reverse those. He can reverse that. That's easy.
Your Honor.
So, Miss Thompson, to be honest with you, if you've been saying you wanted to have a baby and he found out X amount of months ago, how long did you have that procedure? How long ago?
20 years ago.
How many?
Bomba.
Oh my God.
Dang.
Wow, it's reversible.
Oh my God.
Dang.
This is embarrassing.
20 years ago, how old is this woman?
There was a
in
moment
the 40s.
that
About in the 40s.
I only thought that you were the user in this room.
Hold on. Accountability's starting to shift now because it was looking kind of biased. Let's go
I
back.
was wrong.
Oh, you a grown man.
There was a moment that I only thought that you were the user in this room.
Why is that, Star?
I was wrong. You kind of both deserve each other because I have never seen the most dysfunctional people who lie to each other, who steal each other's dreams, who pretend that they are in love, but they have no respect for themselves or each other. The example that you are setting for your child is not one that I admire. And sir, pay for your own stuff.
Let's talk about it.
Well. My take on that, that's when I understand her because there's a lot of people that don't want to start over. There's some women that don't want to start over. They also got some men that probably don't want to start over either. But remember, some women have biological clocks. All women have biological clocks, and they don't want to start to get, once they get comfortable with you, and once they get to know you, and they feel comfortable, and they in love with you, starting over is very hard. They don't want to start all over again. They don't want to. She has something with him. She's crazy about him. She's in love with him, and she does not want to start over again because she's of certain age. And if I remember from the footage, she was in her mid-40s. She was in her mid-40s. He's in his early to like maybe in his, I would say he's about 34, 35. But she's already well in her 40s. And I think she believes she has kids already. And then that's when she decided to tie her tooth because she already had kids already. But with him now, being a young dude, he probably never had a kid. So him saying you lied to me, you hide, you got your Times tube and you didn't even let me know. And I think what it is that he was, and because of that, he was turned off for that. Like all these years we've been together, now I'm knowing this.
Zacchaeus, she said she had a time for 20 years. Here's the thing.
That's a long time.
Here's the thing. Star. I didn't see the whole show. I don't have time to watch the whole thing, so I might be taking this out of context. But Judge Star, as I refer to her in the context of this divorce court show, she said, I thought this whole time you were the only user, but now I'm finding out both of y'all made for each other. She said, you're a doormat, you brought this case to me. That's what she said in the beginning. When the man said I went through her phone, and she said, don't they all? Star comes from a deceptive marriage her dang self. If you recall, her husband ended up switching sides. Allegedly. Now, you can see why. And I wasn't able to play the clip on visually here, but you saw the clip. You saw the look on Star's eyes. She couldn't stand that man. Meanwhile, you got a whole woman up here talking about how she lied about getting her tubes tied 20 years ago. Who does that? 20 years ago.
It's a long time.
It's a long time to have your tubes tied.
Yes.
And the woman's not even 50 years old, like you said. That means she tied it at an age where she
probably in the early 30s. Who knows? Is it 20 years? Probably not. Yeah, 20 years. So yeah.
I would think that was in. I would think she was in her 20s. Because I'm looking at this woman. I'm looking at her physically. She's not a bad looking woman. I remind you. When she's not crying, she's not a bad looking woman.
Yeah.
But that many years, and then the fact that she said, "Oh, I was gonna tell you." When was you gonna tell me? Well, him, that is, not me. So the whole show, it seems like she was bashing him. Meanwhile, she was holding on to a very pivotal lie.
Man, she started to break down in tears and started to cry.
Let me go back a little bit.
Did you have that procedure? How long ago?
20 years ago.
How many?
Bomba.
All them tears stopped. She was doing a whole bunch of crying. Then when he said, how long have your tubes been tied? When she said, how long have your tubes been tied? Them tears went right back into her eyes. It was like they went right up like this and went behind her.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, her face is dry. I guess it's the power of TV, right?
Yeah.
Play more.
Oh my God.
about is reversible.
Oh my God. Oh.
Why Star so quiet? She was ready to jump on this man, but Star got quiet there.
Yeah, see?
Speechless.
Sir,
Wow.
You a grown man.
there was a moment that I only thought that you were the user in this room.
Sir, there was a moment that I thought you were only the user in this room.
User in this room.
See what a man got to go through in divorce court, man? Everything the man fault, right?
Right. But that's years of being together. She never even mentioned that.
Okay. Let's get to the grand part of the point. So let's talk about the whole concept of starting over. A lot of women, men too, but a lot of women have a track record of not leaving a relationship when it goes bad. Now that's a marriage, so you should fight for your marriage. I get that. But we use this as an example. But there are many examples of women. Women will stay in regards to infidelity. They will stay in regards to abuse. They have a reputation for staying longer. That's not just my opinion. There are stats to back it up that men are less likely to return to a relationship where a woman has cheated on them. Women are more likely. Women are more likely to stay in a relationship where men has cheated on them. That's not an opinion piece of mine.
It's a fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
And most people stick around for convenience. Now, some would say, well, because if a man goes and cheats, reason being is that he doesn't break up with the woman he's cheating on. He'll just have the main woman and have the other woman all the time, as whereas when a woman cheats, she leaves the relationship altogether. I mean, that could be argued, right? That could be argued. But then also what also can be argued is women file for divorce at an exponentially higher rate than men do. So women, once a woman has had enough, she'll leave. Right?
Yeah, yes.
But
absolutely.
in a relationship, you will often find that a woman will stick around. She'll take a lot of more crap. You know what I'm saying? That a man is not quick to take. You know, let a woman go upside a man's head. A man will leave that before a man goes upside. I'm not endorsing it, but a man will go upside a woman's head, and a lot of women will stick around, yo. And it could be many reasons. It could be fear for their lives. You know, sadly, you have situations where a woman said, hey, I didn't want to leave him because I thought he was going to kill me. And then the thing is, well, if you don't leave, he will kill you. I mean, it's like, or what they'll do is they'll threaten their family. They'll isolate them, move them to a whole nother state, town, way across country so that it's a lot harder for her family to get to you in times of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, that happens a lot. Why do you think women stay longer in a relationship that they should leave as opposed to men? Why do you think that? Or do you even think that's even something that happens? You could go at it any way you want.
Well, you see, women embrace security. They embrace security because, face it, men like to be comfortable, but women also stresses being comfortable a lot, just as a lot.
Yeah.
So if this man provides, and I know some will say, I'm not staying because he has money. If this man provides a comfortable life for you,
a lot do.
A comfortable life for you, comfortable, and he's cheating on you, he's not treating you right. some would stay.
Yeah.
Because of the convenience and security.
Yeah.
The security factor. That's why some would stay. And they'll admit that, yes, they'll stay and try to work it out with him. And that's the difference. But men now, we don't. That's what this is to do. We live in a new era where men do look at some women's pockets.
Yeah.
We live in a new era.
Yeah.
But the majority I know, men will not stay. They will not stay. They will not stay in an abusive relationship, or they will not stay in a woman that's mistreating them. Why? Because we don't look at the same. We don't have the same views as women do.
No.
Ours is more, I'm going to work hard for mine. I'm going to work hard. And if you cheat on me or abuse me anyway, I just leave it. Don't think of it. They just leave, pack their stuff up. Yeah. So you got some men that are emotionally attached, but even with them, sometimes you're going to think about so much, you pack your stuff up and you leave. Why? Because we view things differently than women. Now, woman now, why she's so reluctant, she wants to stay. It could be many reasons. Some women, they just feel comfortable knowing that they have that they're on the spotlight, and they like to show that the person they're with is rich, he's well off. It may be sure they stay and they take they put themselves last and they take the abuse just so they can show off in front of their friends and say, listen, my man makes 6 figures. Or they stay because they just feel that I don't want to start over again. Same thing like we just shared the video with you. Mm-hmm. And some women, women have a biological clock. They feel that they had a certain age. They don't want to go through all that legal stuff of divorce. They just want to live with you. The man might be giving them headache and heartaches and pain, but she'll be faithful to him and she'll stick it out. Stick it out because, and the reason why some women say, because you know what some women say, Fifth? So, the pickings are slim. Yeah. There's not too much brothers out there, not too much men either incarcerated or they either gay or they just lost their mind. So they stay because they feel that they can't get no one else. They stay because they feel that their self-worth is not enough to sustain them. They feel that, well, I stay because he's my husband, and because he's my husband or because he's my boyfriend, I stay and I just take it. I just take the mistreatment. Because and a lot of them stay. They got some exceptions to the rule that there's women that left because of if they can't take it no more, they take the kids up and left. But but they also have women that stay because of the kids. That's another big reason why people stay. Yeah. Oh, I don't want my kids to grow up in a broken home. I don't want my kids to grow up in not seeing mommy around. So I take him in, and they squeeze him. They squeeze. She just squeeze him into the relationship and just say, "I'm gonna stay, even if it pains me." Because because we have kids together. We have 2. And another thing too, this is the reason why people stay. They have a lot invested, a lot of time invested. Like the young lady in the video, it's a lot of time invested. And they stay because of that. There's too much time invested, and we've been together for 10 years. We've been together for 20 years. We've been together for maybe and boyfriend, girlfriend are dating. Oh, we've been together for 5 years, and she gave me a headache. Yes, she gave me a headache and pain, but I'm gonna stick it out. Which is never a smart thing to do, because you wind up regretting that you stay. But they say they'll stay in order to feel comfortable, to feel a sense of security and comfortability, and they'll take whatever they dish out, whatever pain the man give. They'll take the pain, whatever the man give them. Headaches, whatever the man give them. Why? Because these all I got.
Yeah, but with conditions though, because I've heard many women say, not all, but many women have said, I'd rather cry in a Ferrari than to be single in a Honda Civic.
Wow.
So many women many women had and have already and currently right now are sacrificing their happiness for resources. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When a man stays, this is what you hear, it's cheaper to keep her. That's only in terms of divorce. When they're not married, ain't no man saying that. Because that's not your wife. You know?
Right.
And then a lot of suckers out here have had this mindset of happy wife, happy life crap. Oh man,
I used to hear that a lot.
Oh, I'm so tired of hearing that. I hate that because it's really hurt the game. It's made women feel like it's gave them more of an entitlement approach to a relationship and marriage. They're thinking that the marriage is all about them. When a woman thinks the wedding is all about her, she thinks the marriage is all about her and thinks that she's the prize.
Right.
You know, and I already said what the prize was. The prize is not either or. I said the prize is when you come together and you form a marriage and a union. That marriage is the prize. That's the championship.
Right.
That y'all two were playing for to win. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's the thing. Now, the conditions, as long as she's getting money, as long as she's getting, well, a woman could pretty much get sex from most places, but they can't necessarily get marriage. But a man who doesn't have access to women like that, he'll stick with the one woman who gives him sex because he don't want to start over.
Right.
Hey, listen, there are plenty of men out there who know that their relationship is crap, right? And their woman is just financially draining them, and they're just a headache. They're just a bill and a headache, and they will stick with that woman as long as they're getting butt. And I'm like, yo, my man, all these women out here, and you gonna put up with that? You know, you could be with somebody who's more pleasant to be with.
Oh, that's what they told. Yeah, see,
you know, I mean, that's what I would tell somebody who's in that frame of thinking.
Right.
You know,
right. Yeah,
you could get you a pleasant experience from another. You just have to do the work. I think a lot of people, like you say, they stick around because they don't want to start over, but because the fear is, I start over, now somebody else has to see my flaws.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That old person, as long as they still want you, they'll put up with your flaws because they put up with it before.
Mm-hmm.
If they still want you, they don't want you anymore. That means that they got tired of your flaws. There's good and bad in every person.
Yeah.
The problem is that bad. Well, I won't necessarily say bad. I'll just say like flaws, because at the end of the day, just because you have flaws doesn't mean you're a bad person, unless you do bad things. I mean, there are people out here who do bad.
Right.
I mean, someone who's violent and abusive towards their significant other, that's not only is that a flaw, that's a bad character trait for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not suggesting that. You know, maybe you chew your food too loud and you leave the toilet seat up. That's a flaw. That's fixable. That's fixable.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, well, domestic violence is fixable, but you got to rehab, though. You got to rehab.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is what's your advice to someone who says to you that they don't want to start over? What's your advice to them?
sometimes, I won't say all the times, sometimes it's good to let go, to close that chapter in your life. And why I say it's good to close that chapter in your life, because you never know when you release that burden, that heavy yoke, and that burden off of you, you never know what God has in store for you once you let go. But we have to learn to let go. If we keep holding on to the past, we never know what's in front of us. We keep looking back in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
You can't go forward.
Yeah.
We can't go forward. So my advice, if you want to stay stuck, that only takes away whatever God has in store for you. That it takes away that inner peace that you desire, because you're staying and you're sticking, and the staying and you're sticking out with that person is getting you sick. It's getting you sick. You might be losing your health is withering. You could be you're going to be losing your finances, and you don't have peace in your life when you hold on. But if you learn to let go, because when we hold on, other people see the abuse was going on, but you're not seeing it, or maybe you refuse to see it, or maybe you and some people don't want to. Some people, and I'm gonna say this too. Some people, the reason why they hold on, because face it, some people don't desire peace in their life. There are some people that are glutton for punishment. They hold on to drama because they're used to it. They feel that their self-worth, they cannot get better because they don't have a self-worth. They don't know what their self-worth is. So they hold on to the pain. They hold on to the agony. They hold on because, let's face it, they don't desire peace. And when you don't desire peace, peace is not a benchmark in their vocabulary or in their thoughts or in their minds. So what they do is they hold on to the pain, and they get comfortable with the pain. They got people that gets abused by their spouse, or they get abused by boyfriend and girlfriend. They get abused, and years go by, and then you scratch your head, you wonder why. They say, why are you still holding on? Why are you still holding on? And just like that Jimmy Cossier song, She's All I Got. She's all I got. I love Nicole. She's all I got. And they feel that way. She's all I got. So they hold on because they're afraid to step out. And when you're afraid to step out, and that's for all of us, if you're afraid to step out in faith, if you're afraid, to step out, sometimes you could be losing the very blessing behind the next door. You could be losing that blessing because you're afraid to step out. And sometimes God shows us in many ways. There's so many signs. And sometimes we ignore signs, and there's so many signs, and sometimes we ignore them. It turns around and bites us right in the behind because we ignore it. And so many signs that we ignore, and you're holding on, and then when you hold on, all you're getting is grief in your life. That's all you're receiving is grief. Grief.
So you made a point.
Grief.
You made a point. I want to cut in real quick. You made a point, and you said that a lot of times you feel people find it hard to start over because they don't have peace in their life. I would add this to that, right? Because they put with their pieces in that other person. Not knowing that they had peace before they met them, and that person came in and disrupted that. So it transferred. Now they see that person as their peace. I'm gonna say this, okay? No particular person can necessarily be your peace. What it is that you have peace, and then that person you bring into your life doesn't take away your peace. That's what it is. I had a woman get mad at me because I said,
wow.
Yeah, I had a woman get mad at me because I was like, if you're gonna be with a man, be his peace, and he'll be yours too. And she said, I'm so tired of men saying that. What is it, that you don't have peace? I said, no. I said, it's not that a man doesn't have peace. A man will find peace when he is serving God and he's following his purpose.
Amen.
That's where peace comes from. Peace comes from God. When a man has put God first and is fulfilling his purpose, he has peace.
Amen.
That's why it's very important that the woman you bring into your life adheres to that and understands that she also has peace too.
Mm-hmm.
Before you even met her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that she brings me happiness. I already have it. She just adds to what I have. When a person comes into your life, they should never be a subtraction. They should be an addition to what you already have.
That's right.
The problem is a lot of people want to come into your life and be a subtraction. Especially when we teach women, well, not we as in me and you, but especially when society teaches women not to get with a man that they can build with, get with a man who's already banking, and then he'll take care of you. Yeah, but you're taking away from his resources, though, because you didn't add to his money. You take away from his money.
Yeah.
A real woman knows how to get with a man and make him richer. Hello.
Hello.
If you were who you think you are, and who you're telling yourself you are, then when you come into his life, he should have more.
Hello. Mm-hmm.
You don't just become a liability; you become an asset.
There you go.
And a lot of women are taught to just be liabilities in a man's life.
Yes.
Because a woman would tell you that to never take a man who becomes a liability to her. Right? So if we're teaching women never let a man come in your life and take away from you, then I'm going to teach men never let a woman come in your life and take away from you.
Right.
When a man is fulfilling his purpose, he's okay with starting over. It's just a minor setback to him. It hurts, but it's just a minor setback to him.
Yes.
When a man is off his purpose is when he has a fear of letting go of something that is destructive.
Yes.
I believe
it's fair.
I believe when a man holds a woman above himself, she becomes his god.
Facts.
That should never happen. That's out of order.
Yeah. Yes, there's men that get obsessed with a particular woman or with the person that they're with, to a point where it's so bad, to a point that we see it. The calling 7 times in a day. Can't let her breathe. Can't breathe without her.
Yeah.
Always got to be up underneath her.
Yeah.
Can't let her follow her where she's going. Oh, now we're going into insecurities now.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Getting angry every time she talks to a male. He gets upset.
Going in the phone. I don't agree with that going in the phone thing. Now, it's interesting because on that clip, he went on her phone to find out she was lying. I'm a believer of what happens in the dark will eventually come to the light.
Yes,
I'm a believer
yes.
of that. Okay.
Likewise.
So I don't agree with him going in her phone, but I ain't mad at him finding out what the truth is, because she was never going to tell him. And you know, I wonder how many men are going through this where they're wanting kids with a woman and she's lying to him and telling him that she can't. I wonder how many stories of that exist. Men are known to go through a lot of things and not report it. You know, whether it's in life, workplace, when a man is sexually harassed, more times than none, he won't report it, or he'll take a while before he reports it. You know, unless he's a married man. Married men have a reputation for nipping things. Well, I don't want to say that. I could be wrong about that. About that. But what I'm saying is, more likely, men don't report certain acts that happen to them.
No,
and it could be for a lot of reasons, mainly pride. You know what I'm saying? Pride, pride and embarrassment and stuff like that. Women are more quick to report things. So this is why we hear more stuff on the woman's side than the man's side. A lot of men feel like, well, I don't have a space to even talk about it and then still be respected as a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That might be geared towards a different topic. But yeah, starting over. Here's the thing. A healing process has to take place when you need to start over. Okay. My advice for starting back something that ended. I don't want to leave this out. And and I don't want people to get offended.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the relationship of the past that ended and then you guys reconnect. Here's what needs to happen though. Both people have had a healing process. Both people have had to come to an agreement that what happened in the past will never happen again, and both had to grow from the initial breakup. Both people have to grow from it. What's the sense of getting back with something and nothing didn't change? What's the point of that? That's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle. Vicious.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not against giving things a second chance as long as both parties have matured and they are different people now than they were back then.
Then, yeah.
I have no problem with that. What I got a problem with is the lie. Oh, I'm a new person. Nope, you get back with them and it's the same roller coaster.
Yes, see?
That's counterproductive. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. When I think I said this on the other episode we had, the breakup show, that people don't want to start over for the simple reason is that they don't want to grow. So they'll be like, okay, let me get back with this person, and the new person who wants to move on, that's a distraction. Because now they're getting held back from the very thing that they could be getting. I'll retire my point here and say this. Then I'll let you get the last word and we can end the show.
Yeah.
This is not picking on women who don't want to start over, but I do want to have some advice for that woman, particularly on that clip. What I want to say to women such as her, who said, I don't want to start over, that's 5 years, I'd rather have the 5 years with him and having a ring. You can't force nobody to be with you. Okay? You're already starting out in bad faith. And also, ladies, if you're going to start over, you need to stop lying to yourself, come into a truth that is bigger than you, grow, mature, heal, and when you want to start over, do things in God's timing.
That's right.
Fellas, if you want to start over, heal, pursue your purpose. And when you're ready, not the woman, and when you're ready, then you can start over.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus.
When you see, this is how you know when you're ready to start over. When you give yourself time to heal. When you give yourself time to get into you, grow spiritually, and get to think about your goals, the goals that you have to reach in your life. And goals that you have to reach in your life, especially when you're trying to start all over again, should be a priority. Especially if you're trying to start all over again and you're not. The biggest mistakes that people make is the going back. For some people, the going back is detrimental. The going back is is a reason. Just think about the reason why you left for the first place. Always think about the reason why you left. If you're thinking about going back to that person that abused you, you're thinking about going back to that person that mistreats you, you're thinking about going back to that person just think about the reason why you left and the reason and how you feel inside when you was with that person during that time. Don't think about it like, well, I'm going to go back and this is all I got and I don't want to be alone. Listen, you need time to heal for yourself. You need time to build yourself up. You need time to get close to God. You need time to grow spiritually. And you need that me time so you can heal. The Bible talks about healing purposes. Heal. Don't go back. You go back, sometimes it's a going back is a detrimental to you. Is the death of you or the detrimental to your life? The going back sometimes it could be the biggest mistake in your life. So if God is tugging at you to move on, move on. Do not hold on. Is a reason why you left. And there's a reason why you feel free. Just think about those reasons. If you don't think about anything else, think about those reasons. It's a reason why you left. Well, this is Zacchaeus and Fifth. What's good, man?
All right.
Yeah.
This was another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. Zacchaeus, let them know where they can reach you, man.
Yeah, you can reach me on Zacchaeus Music, at Zacchaeus Music on Instagram, also on Facebook. Wayne Backus 167 on Facebook, also on what's it called? Oh, Twitter. At Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter. Yeah, holla at me. Check it out.
Get at me at the Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. This was another episode of Mr. Z and Fifth. Peace. See y'all next time.
Next time.